What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another A to Z of Ark today. And today, guys, we are taking a look at the Mammoth. Now, guys, the Mammoth is a behemoth of a creature, I'm going to say, because a lot of you guys will scream at me calling it a dinosaur. And it's found on pretty much every Ark map, really. So it's found on the Island, the Center, Ragnarok, Extinction, Valgyro, Genesis Part 1, Crystal Isles, and Genesis Part 2. Only map it's not found on is Scorched Earth and Aberration. But these guys are honestly the kings of gathering wood. These guys, you just can't beat them. They did receive a TLC buff in the last 6-ish months, I believe, which gave them a whole bunch of new abilities, and it made them a lot stronger and a lot better and useful. So we'll be going over all their abilities and all that sort of stuff once we show you guys how to knock it out. Now, these guys are tamed violently, so you will need to knock them out using tranks and whatnot. Your best bet here is to separate them from their herd, because they will be in multiple herds. Now, they will debuff you, which reduces your actual output damage. So you will need to be a bit careful here. Make sure you try and isolate it. And that way you won't have to worry about a whole herd of mammoths coming in on you and stomping you to death. Now, these guys are herbivores, so you will need to tame them using Mijo berries. If you do have access to kibble, however, superior kibble is the best way to go about taming these guys, and will guarantee you that you will get one with maximum taming effectiveness. Now, these guys are generally found in the snow as well, so keep that in mind if you are going to try and tame them in their natural habitat, because they will obviously be in freezing cold temperatures, and you will need to have decent armor in order to compensate for that. Now, once you've successfully tamed up your mammoth, their saddle is learned at a nice and easy level 31. It is very easy to craft as well, only costing 140 fiber, 260 hide, and 10 metal ingots. Make that bad boy up in the smithy and you are good to go. And their new saddle design is actually awesome. Now, they come equipped with a drum on the back. Dude, can you not snow out? Which you can play to actually demoralize and boost your ally dinos and demoralize the enemy dinos or enemy players. So we currently have to deal with this stupid snow owl because he is deciding not to leave us alone. Now, as you guys can see, this gives us a good chance to actually show off the attacks. So there are quite a few attacks that the Mammoth can do. First is a trunk slam slash horn thingy. And this is dependent on which way you face. So if you face to the right, it will slam that direction. If you face to the left, it will slam that direction. If you face head on, it will charge forward. So you do have access to those attacks. Now, if you hit spacebar, you will actually do a stomp ability, which is your hardest hitting attack. But you obviously cannot move while using this attack, and you can't actually move while using your primary attack either. You can see there, however, though, that it does deal quite a lot of damage. Now, the Mammoth also has a grappling ability, which you can use with your secondary attack. And the Mammoth is able to grapple quite a large amount of dinos. You can see here we've currently got this date on. I'll chuck a list up of the creatures that the Mammoth can gather up for you guys here, so you can see just what they can carry. But they can carry, obviously, quite a large amount of tames. The largest probably being the Parasol. I would say maybe like the Direwolf even. These guys are able to do a lot of damage. And the cool thing is that you can then also just go ahead and smack whatever it is that you're carrying, and it will not be able to do anything. You can also use your secondary attack, however, that won't actually hit it. Now, you can then, if you want to get rid of the creature, fling it away using the secondary attack again. You can see that you get a bit of a reticle, and it gives you the opportunity to throw it a certain distance. So this allows you to actually tame up creatures in a way, because what you can do is you can get your mammoth to grab the dino that you want, and you can actually just either lob it into a trap, or go ahead and actually tame it up yourself. As soon as you make sure that your mammoth is on passive, you can see here if we jump off him. Nope. Okay, so apparently you can't actually hop off the mammoth and have it holding the prey. I actually was not aware of that. So we're going to just yeet this Daedon away. Now, another really cool ability of the mammoth is that he can actually hydrate the player. So if you're walking in some water and you decide to go ahead and use the C button, the mammoth will actually hydrate the player, refilling your water. Now, you can use that ability if you aren't in water, and that will provide a demoralizing debuff to enemy dinos. You can currently see here that this Daedon is demoralized, by the red lights over its head. Now this will reduce the amount of damage that you take. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump off here. We're going to deactivate creative mode so you can actually see the damage difference. I don't actually know what the percentage of damage reduction is. And as far as I'm aware, I'm not actually able to find it. But you can see here that the Daedon is hitting us for 21. If we do our demoralizing effect, it hits for 15. So we lose about 6 points of damage, which is pretty decent. So you can use this on enemy dinos as well. So enemy player dinos, which will obviously help you in PvP aspects of things. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, as well as that, like I mentioned, the Mammoth also has the ability to play the drum. And you can see here that we get a bit of a radius around the Mammoth. And if we play the tune correctly, we provide a buff to all the creatures in the vicinity. All our creatures in the vicinity. Now you can only see there in the bottom right hand corner that we are ready for war. And this increases our stamina as well as immune to fear. So UD roars and all that sort of stuff will be prevented by this buff, which is awesome. Now if you are playing single player or solo and you have a Mammoth and you want to use it for PvP, you can still command the Mammoth to actually move around while you play the drum. You just have to whistle using the commands that you have it set to in your settings button. You can also use it to attack while playing the drum. So, you know, if you want to lead all of your dinos from the back of a Mammoth onto some enemy players, it is possible. And you can actually provide that buff to all your creatures in the area by utilizing this method. Now, you can currently see here, we are going to whistle to attack the Mammoth or the Thankyou, if I can actually hit the reticle there. But the music itself also does sound pretty cool. So you definitely want to keep that in mind as well. The Mammoth definitely received one of the better buffs from its TLC, which makes it really awesome for PvP and PvE. But let's get into its gathering side of things. So it is able to gather a shit ton of berries. However, it does not reduce the weight of berries in its inventory by any percentage, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's still really, really good for harvesting berries. However, what you will want to use the Mammoth for is for harvesting wood and thatch. Now, utilizing its primary attack, you are able to get more thatch than wood, and it does not provide a weight reduction for thatch. So do keep that in mind. However, thatch is pretty much really light, so you don't really need to worry about having to actually reduce the weight of it. Now, in order to harvest wood, you want to use its spacebar ability. That will net you the most amount of wood, and you will probably want to bump up melee damage and weight on your Mammoth to enable you to harvest more wood and carry more wood. So you can see here that we are able to get quite a lot of wood just from a couple of trees. We do have our rate set to ×3, and it reduces the weight of the wood in its inventory by 75%, which is bloody awesome. It is definitely, in my opinion, the best wood gatherer, being better than the Casteroidus, in my opinion. They also have really high weight, so like that paired with the fact you can get that much wood, like we only are riding a level 40 tamed Mammoth. Level 150 can easily get 1200, 1500 wood per tree, which is absolutely crazy. So you definitely want to invest in one of these guys for gathering resources, even if you want to just use it for berries. That in itself is well and truly worth it. Now guys, one thing that I did forget to mention about its spraying ability, so the ability where it sprays water, is that it actually has a lot more uses than just hydrating the player. You can actually use it to remove leeches, disable electrical systems, as well as disable torches. So if you've got enemy players that are coming at you with a bunch of torches, and you know, they do deal fire damage to you over time, you can actually put those torches out using the Mammoth's spray ability. And you can see that we just sent some wolves flying away in the distance. Now, like I said, you can also disable electronics. So if you are near some generators, you can actually spray water, and that will disable the generators for a certain amount of time. Now, as well as that, you can also use it to irrigate crops and ground flyers. So you can use it to ground Argies, Griffins, Quetzals, Pteranodons, as long as you hit them with that water ability, like the water coming out of the trunk, you will be able... Can you go away, Wolf? You will be able to actually go ahead and ground those flies, enabling you to kill the players riding them or just kill the tame outright, which is actually, once again, super useful for PvP. Because obviously you're going to have flies coming at you from all sort of angles, so you want to make sure that you have access to the water source. And like I said, you can also water crops and reservoirs using this ability. But guys, the mammoths are definitely the kings of gathering wood. They are a really useful tame to have for PvP due to the buffs and debuffs they are able to provide dinos and your ally dinos. As well as that, if things or players get too close to you, you can pick them up, have your tribe mates shoot them, other dinos kill them, you name it. They are very useful for PvP. As well as that, due to them being herbivores, they will utilize the full effect of sweet veggie cakes, and they will take reduced fire damage from any sort of sources of fire. So I would definitely recommend using some mammoths for whatever aspect of the game that you want to. But guys, that is going to wrap up today's video on the mammoths. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one today. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe down below for more, and I'll catch you in the next one.